Can somehow read that.
No!
We need to get.
Anyone else getting deja vu? It's only been 13 months and I've been in another car crash. Both not my fault. And like in the other video, I'm in the exact same spot near the A10, filming this video in the rental car that I've been given. Unlike the other crash, this was in a much nicer car that I now own, and the car wasn't drivable afterwards. Instead of me sitting here and explaining everything in excruciating detail, which I'm sure will be boring, I will just let this play out for you, because I filmed a lot of it. If you're just here for me being bullied on TikTok, you can skip to this point in the video. Enjoy.
Take a photo of that with clearly our 4K ultra high definition camera, because Sats can somehow read that.
No!
We need to get 5 bits of.
You alright? You alright?
Yeah, no,
you okay?
No problem with me. Who did I hit? Oh.
Me, it was me. I don't know if...
Because I didn't see anyone doing it out of the car.
Okay.
Is there anyone else in your car or
No,
just you?
me. I'm okay, so all I need.
Are you in that car?
Yeah.
We're not blocking anything.
It's probably best anyway. I'll move my car here so fucking hell. I don't know if that wheel's gonna work. Oh, I think the steering's bugged. Oh, this car's fucked. This car's fucked.
You okay as well? You?
Yeah, it's just, I know that wheel's on my car, which is irritating. Yeah, your number plates even come off, mate. It's not.
What have I done?
It's not looking good. Fuck's sake. Just been a car crash. I was coming down here. Someone pulled out of that junction. He ended up in a bush, missing a headlight. My wheel's a bit because I did go in the air. I think the suspension took the brunt, which is better than my spine. As you can see, this wheel is straight on. But the worst thing of this tragedy is right there. Those bottles of Pepsi, they were on the seat. Now they're there, which means they're gonna explode when I open them. We hear the sirens. Oh, I almost had another one. Oh yeah. They'll go around. You'll love to see it. And here's what happened to the tree. Well, here's bits of his car. Some rubber, I think that was there before, but his car obviously went up here, took this tree out, and was basically parked there. We hit, obviously, there-ish. I went into the air a bit, onto that lane. He came in here. I saw him park in the bush, and that's when I secured the car by turning it off and the handbrake on, leaving it in gear. And then I got my phone to record, then I jumped out, and then after that I got back in to move it there, and then now it's there. Well, hey, hopefully my friend's here soon. I'm trying to get some KFC. So what the f actually happened? Well, as we go around, I'll show you. Shout out to Lewis, just got dropped home by him. I need to get the dash cam footage off, and then I'll contact my insurance company, give them all this shit. That needs to be blurred actually. But yeah, let's go. So as you can quite clearly see, the crash weren't too good. And I really wasn't that impressed, was I? So let's just go through second by... That'll take too long actually, let's not do that. But let me just explain my thought process in the few seconds before, during and straight after this crash. So one day, I decided to go to Tesco, feed my Pepsi addiction, and then I was gonna go and get KFC. Basically, on this roundabout, I know this roundabout quite well, it's a big roundabout. It usually has traffic lights on it. Recently, the traffic lights have been taken down. I don't know if they're gonna be repaired. There were like loads of cones around it. As you saw, one of the cones was literally run over by the other guy involved. Ironically enough, when I was going round the roundabout, I was thinking, this is so much easier with no traffic lights on. So much quicker to go around. But no, instead, some old guy, he was stationary, he wasn't even moving, he was stationary coming off of the A10 on to join this roundabout, and just as I was right there, decided to pull out. Love it. Not only did he pull out, but he didn't speed up either. Because let's be honest, we've all misjudged things sometimes when pulling out onto like a slip road or a junction or a roundabout, and you're like, oh shit, I misjudged that a bit, and you put your foot to the floor, and then you skirt out the way, so the other cars behind you, you know, don't crash into you. But instead, my guy pulls out at 3 miles per hour and stays at that speed. All he had to do was what I'm doing now, slam his foot onto the accelerator. He decided not to. He decided to drive into a bush instead. My front left side of my car hit his car where the front door and the wing panel by the wheel join. So it hit those two panels there. I'm assuming my wheel made contact with his car and that kind of ramped my car up a little bit, like a foot or two, according to the witnesses that stopped who were behind us. They were saying you went in the air quite a bit. So that sent me up a little bit. Then I landed. And as soon as I landed, I could tell my car was fucked because that side over there of the dashboard was lower and I could see a little bit more of the road. And that was, I think, why I was so angry, because I knew then and there I would not be able to drive my car away. I didn't know the extent of the damage. I was thinking in my head the wheel was pointing in the wrong direction, which it was. So after I've landed, or during the landing of, why is the light in here turned on? Fuck off. Maybe I should turn this car on, because I don't want another scenario where the car runs out of battery, you know what I'm saying? That would be bad. Whilst I'm sorting myself out by landing, my guy has, I'm assuming, overcorrected and forgotten where the brake pedal is. Because I look over and I see my guy just career straight into, he's going faster than he was when he was pulling out, and he just goes straight into a bush off the road, up a little bit of a curb as well. Obviously new car, so I guess he didn't know where the brake was, but it's not like they're gonna put it on the ceiling, you know, it's gonna be in the footwell somewhere. When he was pulling out, I was on the brake a bit, thinking he's gonna speed up and it'll be fine, and I was going to the lane next to me, but I couldn't creep in anymore because there was a Prius next to me in that lane, and I was probably already pushing him out of that lane a little bit because he was scared of it, because we didn't want to make contact. So that's why I couldn't go into the lane next to me. We've stopped moving, he's in a bush, I'm on the road, I know my car's fucked. I'm a bit vexed, as we've already established. Put my hazards on, make sure my dash cam saves the video. Weirdly enough, there's no warning lights on the dashboard. The engine's still on, so oh, that's weird. For some reason I took it out of third and put it in first, because that's gonna make a fucking difference, isn't it? Put the handbrake on, turn the car off. And most importantly, started filming on my phone. The reason I film on my phone, and I recommend everyone do this, is in case the guys are, you know, we get that on camera, in case he lies, we get that on camera, and then it's just like pure evidence. Obviously, if you crash and it is your fault, and you have a dash cam, swallow the SD card. These really lovely couple were behind us, or behind him, I think they were behind me. They stopped. They went up to his car to check if he was alright. They asked me if I was alright, and they were surprised that I was, because they were like, your car went in the air quite a bit. Obviously it was only one corner, but still, weirdly enough, I was perfectly fine. I wasn't even aching or anything the next day, which I thought I would be. Just had a headache from all the fucking hassle. Couldn't even get my KFC. Luckily, he's really nice when he gets out. He doesn't apologise, but you're not really supposed to, are you, when you have an accident? But the first thing he says when he gets out of the car is, haven't had an accident since I'm 19. I know you're embarrassed. I would be too if I caused an accident as stupid as this. People who stopped and helped us were really nice. And everyone in the whole situation was very nice, which is good. Obviously, my car is blocking 2 lanes because I was moving over slightly into the other lane, because I was in the left lane, moving over to the middle lane. And there's 3 lanes in total. So I did get in my car, start it. Again, no warning lights, and move it into the other lane. So I drove it like 3 foot, and you could feel it like trying to go in 2 different directions. Made this amazing TikTok, which we'll get back to later because I got fucking slewed in the comments. These cars aren't drivable, are they? Because the old guy was like, can you guys help push the car because I can't reverse it? So he just wanted to get out of there as fast as possible, dickhead. I was like, all right, we'll help push. And then one of the witnesses who was helping push on the left side of his car was like, there's no point, you can't drive it. and then I went around the left side and you can just see the devastation. Thing is, his car would be perfectly drivable. He was even opening his driver's side door, which is where most of the damage was. It wasn't a donut and knew where the brake pedal was and hadn't gone into the tree and bush, he would have been fine to just go home, because he lived like nearby, like 5 minutes away, he was saying. His front bumper was half taken off, headlight was completely gone. There was a washer bottle that had just completely split and all the liquid inside had gone out. I'm assuming it was the windscreen wash. He did also mention that it was a brand new car. I don't know how long he'd had it for, but he was telling us how it only had 300 miles on it. So yeah, he's probably kicking himself a bit. He's old, so his insurance will still only be £20 a decade. Then called the non-emergency line, because obviously we are blocking the lane as well. 10 minutes later, get put on someone because I was on hold, tell them what's happened. To be fair, they sent police way quicker than I expected. Police turned up, they were nice as well. The first thing they said was, is anyone hurt? We said no, and they were like, it's a civil matter, we're just here to help. And whilst we were waiting, they were telling us how these are the best situations for them to deal with, because they have to do no paperwork, they just have to call recovery and wait and make sure everyone gets home safe because there's no injuries. So they called recovery, that didn't take long either. Half an hour later, two recovery trucks came up. Again, his car was literally perfectly fine if he hadn't put it into a tree, but the recovery guy just drove it out. Obviously there was a bits of plastic hanging on, so he literally just ripped them off and then put it in the boot and then drove it straight up perfectly fine onto the back of the lorry. Police were nice, they offered to drive me home. I first said I'll just walk home. I don't mind walking, get my exercise done. I'd already accepted I wasn't gonna get my KFC at that stage. Then I remembered I have loads of obviously personal items in the car. I didn't even take all of them out, I left stuff in there. Got all that out, and then I realised, kind of, you know, I'm not gonna walk home with all this shit. The old guy that caused the accident, he had all of his shopping, and I had all of my shit, so they just dropped me around the other side of the roundabout where a petrol station was, and I called up my friend to come and pick me up. So yeah, got home, sorted out all the insurance stuff. Turns out my insurance company is just shit. Depending on when this video comes out, I'll put the name of the insurance company I'm with on screen. Told my insurance company didn't even give me confirmation, because I had to do it online. They didn't give me confirmation that I put a claim in. This happened on a Friday. Went home without my KFC and without my fucking car. Don't know which one's more tragic. On the Monday, whilst I'm walking back from a town which is 2 hours away, where I had some work to do, I get a phone call from his insurance company, and they're straight up like, yeah, sorry our guy crashed into you. He's accepted full liability. Can we sort everything out for you so it saves your no claim bonus and it's cheaper for us? I said yes, because again, my insurance company hadn't even fucking contacted me by then. It had been over 48 hours and they hadn't contacted me. They agreed to set me up with a rental car. They literally did it so fast, this other guy's insurance company. It makes me want to get my next year's worth of insurance with them, because they handled it. They're handling it so well. It's obviously still ongoing. So then I went on the shitty online chat thing for my insurance and was like, yeah, you lot are shit. You haven't even contacted me about this. I'm without a car. So just cancel my claim, all right, and get better. And so luckily they sorted out a rental car. I'm in it now. It's a Nissan Juke. I'll give a review of it in a second. Don't you worry. And at this current stage, they called me today about picking my car up. It was these added complications because they need to go to the place where the police work with to recover it from. They need to pay that as well, and then once they've acquired the vehicle, they need to assess the damage. We obviously don't know what the damage is. The actual cosmetic bodywork damage is better than my last crash. The front bumper has scratches on it, the wing has a dent in it. It's not actually that bad if you think about it. The main issue is obviously the wheel is pointing in the wrong direction and it landed from 2 feet. All the weight of a car, front wheel as well, and the engine's there, obviously. Landing on that one wheel, obviously it's bent it, something's gone. So it could be steering related, could be drive shaft related, it could have sent the energy through the drive shaft into the gearbox, could be the alloy itself is cracks or warped. The tyre as well, the bodywork on his car is pretty mangled. That was most likely my tyre and alloy doing that. There's a huge scratch on the alloy that wasn't there before, so they might have to replace a tyre, they might have to replace an alloy, replace a drive shaft. This is like worst case scenario. Drive shaft, whatever's making it bend in the wrong direction. No airbags went off, luckily, on either of our cars, which kind of weird, to be honest. Everyone said it shouldn't be a write-off. The police, who obviously have to deal with this a bit, said, nah, that won't be a write-off. The guy who towed it, he was like, nah, they both won't be write-offs. Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is the time of the video where I get roasted for being the victim of a car crash. Oh yes. Is victim the right word? It's not, because it's a civil offence, surely. So I posted the dashcam video of the car crash onto TikTok and I got roasted. Bearing in mind, they know that I was the one with the footage. They didn't think I was the blue car. As much as I hate to give credit to the people who are roasting me with zero common sense, it is quite funny. So let's go through some of the comments. Crash at the Rush Green roundabout. Shock, surprised it wasn't going into Mackey's. Nah, that's Cherry too. And then someone thinks they're clever by saying the worst type. Nah, Cherry Pepsi Max is the best type you can get. Could have avoided it with some hazard perception readiness. I'll have you know, the first time I did, my theory test, I failed it, but I passed on the hazard perception. And obviously the second time I did the test, I passed on the hazard perception. So my hazard perception is phenomenal. My man was on holiday and he saw me. Now that's great and everything, but Brandon, what were you doing on holiday in Hertford? What has happened to that seat? Now, a lot of people were commenting on the state of the seat, okay? And in fairness, it doesn't look good. It's not the highest spec car. I think it's got the cheapest interior in it. It's cheap material, let's be honest. And you know when you buy a bottle of something, because it was in the refrigerated area, it's a bit moist. And so that was on the seat, and even that can stain the seat. And even like if you bought McDonald's, the grease through the bag would stain the seat for like a week. I'm not even gonna lie. We drove past this earlier, Hertford roundabout. Hope you are all okay. Thank you so much. This is the one person that was nice. Why would they explode when you open them? This is talking about the drinks again. Someone has never drank a caffeinated drink before, clearly. A very British reaction to a car crash. This makes me feel understood. I'm glad. I don't know if you feel understood by the poor driving or the Pepsi mishap, but yeah. Is the Pepsi right? Please say it is. Yo, the Pepsi tasted fine 2 hours later after I'd gotten home and sorted out all of the insurance shit. That's how long it was until I could finally drink my Pepsis. Boomer's pull-out game as usual, clearly very slow. Holy reaction time, Batman. So yeah, a lot of people were saying that I could have been better with my reaction time, and obviously I could have been better with my reaction time. You can always do something better. If you're gonna be that anal about it, you can go down the route of it would have been better for me to just not leave my house that day, because then I wouldn't have been in the car crash. At Jobber, Turtle, these comments though. Now this guy, I've seen him on TikTok before. He's a swell guy, you know, and he made like 3 videos standing up for me basically. And well, it was based on common sense at the end of the day, which if you obtain, you would know that it wasn't my fault. But sadly, some people don't obtain common sense nowadays. So he just had to remind them, and you know, he did a good job.
Camera, because Sats can somehow read that.
Fucking hell!
Been tagged in this one, pointing me to the empty heads in the comments, and boy, are the comments empty-headed on this one. There was literally not enough time to be able to react to that car pulling out. The camera car wasn't doing any crazy speed. It shows that they were doing 33 miles an hour on their GPS on the dash cam. As usual, a lot of grown adults appear to be getting confused about a wide-angle camera in that it makes things look a lot faster than they actually are. In this instance, there is only one person that is going to be found completely responsible, and it is the car pulling out. The camera car is not going to have any liability on them. They haven't done anything wrong. There was no way for them to be able to foresee what was about to happen. They're proceeding in the correct lane for their intended exit. They're doing everything that they should be. This one is completely on the car that is pulling out. If you are one of the empty heads and you need to understand how a wide angle camera massively changes your perception of speed, I do have a video in this playlist further down on my TikTok page that you can view to help you understand. Lovely jubbly, sound as a pound.
Bro, try braking before sounding the horn. Of course, some people can't multitask, but as the brake you use when you're stopping is used by your foot, and this horn is operated, at least in most cars, I believe all cars, with your hands. Luckily, you can do them at the same time. Obviously, some people clearly may struggle.
It would appear that dashcam footage not only causes empty heads to completely mess up their perception of speed, they also mess up their perception of time. That is unless, of course, every commenter who is an empty head has the reflexes of Max Verstappen. Let's overlay the footage where the blue car starts moving to the time of impact with a popular film.
Max can somehow beat that.
How about the start of an F1 Grand Prix?
And the Qatar Grand Prix.
And how about a quick trip to the Titanic?
Can somehow beat that.
A lot of the empty head dreamers are saying that the driver had time to sound the horn, but not time to apply the brake or swerve. Quite hilarious given the positioning of the horn. The human reaction time is 1 second to acknowledge something is happening and another second to then implement something, but then you'd also have the time that it takes to brake and stop. Given that there was 1.5 seconds between the blue car becoming mobile and impact, you're not going to be able to avoid that. Lovely jubbly, sound as a pound.
Nobody is putting blame on Camcar, it's just criticising his reaction time. Blows his horn before braking as well. Were you behind to see when the brake lights went on? I mean, a lot of people were saying I should have braked, and yes, as soon as I saw him pull out I could have slammed on, but then what would have happened? All these commenters would have been like, why did you emergency stop in the middle of the road for no reason and let someone go into the back of you? Because that's probably what would have happened nowadays. Everyone's always driving far too close to one another, especially on a roundabout. And again, yes, you can criticise me at the end of the day. It's a free country to an extent. Good idea to brake before the horn, mate. I blew my horn whilst braking. Obviously, I didn't slam on, because I don't like the idea of having to emergency stop at every sign of danger, because if someone's behind you they can go into the back of you. We've already seen how that can end. All of these people in this one were sticking up for me, and I don't know where the original comment was that they're replying to. If he swerved, he could have caused a worse accident or rolled the car. Now, a lot of people were telling me to swerve, like, out of the way, but there was a car to my right. So, and I was already, as I've already mentioned, I was already kind of in his lane a bit. And luckily some people are realising this, and that swerving isn't always the best option. Don't know how horn is going to help in this situation. Better use that reaction to steer right maybe, and into the car next to me. There was no car next to you. I should have seen it pass you after the accident, but no one passed you. Well, here is the car passing me after the crash. So that's cool. It's almost like you weren't there. Christ, use your ABS and drive around him, not just concentrate on using your horn. This could have been avoided. Would have been avoided if you didn't pull out. Legit have no idea why so many people think they possess superhuman skills. Nobody can stop their car in less than 1 second of reaction time. There's 3 seconds, 40 miles per hour. The stopping distance is, oh my, I can't be asked to do that maths. And basically these two here decide to have a bit of an argument or something. Okay, 3 seconds. So in 3 seconds, you'd go from realization to a complete and utter standstill. Yeah, get fucked. To laugh my arse off. Never said that, but if he'd have been more focused on braking than blaring his horn like a bell end, he could have avoided it. No, he couldn't. He literally couldn't go from 30 plus to complete standstill in less than 3 seconds flat. Guarantee you would have avoided that collision. Avoid obstacle, beep horn. That's how it works, people. Ladies and gentlemen. Don't brake, just beep the horn. Why is there so many wet wipes here trying to put the blame on you? Blue car pulled out on you, that's 100% on him. There's a reason why I've liked this fucking comment. Wow, the people who are blaming you for the crash need to hand in their driver's licenses. Lol, the blue car is 100% at fault. Little man adventures, you possess common sense, I'm proud of you. React faster, you bot. I've just been called a bot. How will I continue with my life? Why didn't you just swerve past him? No need to brake. Car to my right didn't want to crash into them, unsurprisingly. Okay, man's just responded with an okay. 100% not your fault, and don't take this to blame you at all, but driving in a staggered formation is a defensive way to reduce. I don't know what that means. The people who are saying you could have stopped are the people who sit in the passenger seat. Well said, James, you absolute 3000% IQ individual. To be fair, he's in the wrong lane. You can't go straight there. I'd say it's like 90% to 90 to 10 blue car could have been avoided. Literally in the left lane going to go left. Completely agree, proper empty heads in these comments. Quite a few people again. People thought that I was in the wrong lane when they didn't know where I was going. I was in the right lane. I was going left, because that's how I get to the KFC, or at least in the direction of the KFC. And there was some, I don't know if I got the comments, but there were some people who were going down the lines of saying that they thought where the blue car was coming from was the road I was going to go down. That's literally the slip road coming from a dual carriageway to the roundabout. That's not something you want to get mixed up.
I really like the wording of this comment. Has everybody overlooked the obvious? Because no, everybody hasn't overlooked the obvious. You've just confused a join and slip road for a left turn junction. This is why it's so important to actually watch a video before commenting. Because even if you just watch my short snippet on my video, you can clearly see it's a join and slip road to the roundabout. You've got the large truck on the right-hand side of the slip road, and you've got the blue car that pulled out on the left-hand side of the slip road. Why would you turn left onto an opposing carriageway's slip road? The left turn junction is after the slip road. And as for driving too fast, absolute horseradish. It's a national speed limit, major junction roundabout, over a major road. The speed limit in force is 60 miles an hour. They're doing just over 50% of that. The road is completely suitable for the speed that they're driving on. If there's any other road situations or junctions that you get easily confused by, always happy to help. Lovely jubbly, sound as a pound.
The comment section hurts my head. How does the car following the road laws get the blame? Clearly the other car is at fault, but cam car could have done more to avoid collision. Yes, you're right. I could have just never learnt to drive in the first place. I could never leave my house, and then I would be guaranteed not to be in a car crash. Oh wait, that's not how the world works. This guy with the lack of hair, oh my god, he was not impressed by this video. Probably shouldn't have left his indicator on and reacted a bit earlier. Indicating to go left, so nothing wrong there. See what you're saying, but no reason for the indicator there. Could see him pulling out for a solid amount of time. If only he pulled out fast or simply not at all. And let's just go back to the see what you're saying, but no reason for the indicator there. I know I'm in the left lane, so it's obvious that I'm going left. It's just good driving etiquette for people to know where you're going. So why would I not say, oh look, I know I'm in this lane, which obviously means I'm going left, but I'll just leave the left indicator on so people behind me know exactly what I'm doing. It's just better driving. People moaning about reaction times, less than 1 second to react, and people watching this already knowing something's going to happen. That's a good point. You're meant to look at everything on the road like an idiot and expect the worst. At least that's how I've always been taught. Alright Mark, you're better than me. I apologise. Camcar definitely on his phone or pissing about with his hair in the mirror rather than looking at the road, bro. I looked homeless. Alright, I was embarrassed about the cars going past because I just threw clothes on, hadn't done anything to my hair, so I was not impressed to have to get out and interact with members of the public and the police. So trust me, I was not fiddling with my hair because I did not give a fuck about what it looked like at that point. How are people blaming the cam car? Why is everyone blaming the cam car's reaction and not the actual car that pulled out and caused the crash? How do people get licenses? Imagine as soon as he actually got to KFC, it was shut. Firstly, finally people looking at the comment section and being like, why the fuck is everyone blaming this guy? I know I'm quite a blameable guy. I'm not the smartest, yeah? But I didn't cause the crash at the end of the day. And honestly, Mr. Manahai, that is a horrible thought. If I had actually decided to continue going to KFC and walked there, by the time I got there, it probably would have been shut. So I would have just given up at that point. Where's part 2 with the KFC? I didn't make it. Oh, yo, my man's as shocked as I am. That's the annoying Hartford roundabout. It is. Hate this roundabout with a passion. Give way to the right. Is it foreign drivers who are clueless? No, it was an old, very British guy. Comments didn't pass the vibe. It's your right of way. End of. No arguments. People forget. When it's your right of way, you're not actually expecting people to pull out. Honk was appropriate to alert the other driver of your existence. People in the comments so critical also may not have been safe to swerve to the right. Boom, someone has critical thinking. You love to see it. Hindsight says I would have swerved rather than braking, then you would have been at fault for crashing into the car to my right, and someone corrected his grammar. 4 options: use the horn, steer away, brake, crash into the car. Guess you chose 1 and 4. And on that bombshell, there's more comments, for fuck's sake. Could have avoided that easily. Absolute melt your license and take the bus from now on. Cheers. You definitely only sit in the passenger seat of a car. Yo, I'm appreciating this. The more views that the post got, the more people with common sense were watching it, which is a good sign. And that is all the decent comments. And it's warning people at the end of the day. Me posting that on TikTok is a public service announcement. So if you see the blue T-Rock with that number plate, you know to fucking run away. This rental car has the worst engine ever. It's a 1 litre 3-cylinder and it rattles to shit. But this is the current car. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Nissan Juke. My phone keeps going off for some reason. I'm not even that popular. Boom, Nissan Juke. It's actually nice. It's the newer shape. Keyless, firstly, which is quite cool. I just, although there's nowhere to put them, so I just literally leave them between my legs when I'm driving. Great holder for my wallet. You probably can't see anything because I decided to do this at 6 when the sunset is. Yeah, great holder for my wallet. So if anyone wants to steal my wallet and have the window down, only auto window on the driver's one, which is weird, just reach in and you'll be able to grab it, and you will have made no money, because I'll probably have to pay for a new car when my current one gets written off. It is Japanese, obviously being a Nissan. As great as it is in terms of being well built, it has literally no character and the graphics are woeful. But look at this. This is a decade old. Jesus. Obviously it has Android Auto, which matters. It also has climate control, but only singular climate control, but climate control nonetheless, which I like. And, which is better than my car, it has a reverse camera. I think I have to turn it on for this. It has a reverse camera, see, which is beeping at me. It has also, I don't know if you saw that or not, but it also has, let's get out the whip. Ooh, bloody, oh, right in mud, lovely. Yep, here it is, in all its glory. It has front parking sensors as well. It literally sounds like a fucking diesel, as I mentioned earlier, which it isn't. 1 litre 3-cylinder. I've had it on and it's still idling high, and it rattles so much you can proper feel the rattle through anywhere in the car. And worst of all, it struggles up hills. The guy that, when I was renting it, legit said, you will struggle to go up hills. It has cruise control like my car, so I really wasn't missing out on much. It's because it has chunkier tyres and is higher up. It is low-key comfier than my car as well, I think. So legit, if this just had even a 1.2 engine, it would have been good. And the gearbox is a bit shit, I can't lie. The gearbox, you can't, it is 6-speed, which is good. It's certainly not a driver's car, you know. The German equivalents like my car, just way better, because it just has more feel. I've gotten more used to it now after driving it a lot. So yeah, that is my temporary whip. I don't know how long I'm gonna have it. I dare say longer than my last rental car, which was also nice, to be fair. So you kind of get something out of it in driving a new car, even though I'd rather drive my own one if it was working. Update, got a phone call from people who fix the car. They picked my car up and they've assessed the damage. They're replacing a lot. They're not fixing, but replacing. So they're replacing the front bumper. I don't know why they don't just fix that. There's only a couple scratches, but they're replacing the front bumper. They're replacing the wing. They're replacing all the suspension in that corner. They are also replacing the entire alloy, not just refurbishing it, so it must be warped or even cracked maybe, but I'm surprised it cracked. I know it landed, but I'm still surprised it would have cracked. And replacing the tyre, which I'm glad I would have wanted anyway, because you don't know if that could have, if landing on it could have damaged it, or even going into the metal of the other guy's car could have damaged it as well. But the bit that surprised me is they're replacing the entire steering, wait, fuck, did he say, he either said steering rack or steering column. I'm pretty sure he said steering, I don't know. One of them, but that surprised me, and he said it's just better to do that for safety, because you don't know if anything could have been, any damaged, you know. You can tell I'm not a mechanic. Hopefully when this video goes out, I get my car back. Fingers crossed. Sadly, it turns out my fingers weren't crossed enough. A few weeks after filming that update, I got the email I'd been dreading. My car, that I'd only had for 10 months, had been written off. Not surprised after reading this list of everything that needed to be replaced. Oh, and the cost. So, I went to grab my personal belongings and say goodbye for the last time. Just made it. I can't see the car yet. Got some bags to grab my shit. My car. Oh no. Oh, this is so depressing. Fucking hell. This is so depressing. Can't even open the fucking boot because there's a pole in the way. Might as well hit it because who cares. Oh, I'll keep my straws. It's got a couple of warning lights on it. Vehicle status. Error, stability control. Auto hold is unavailable. That's a door, tyre, and yeah. Get my dash cam cable out. I think I did a pretty good job. It was interesting to see the culprit also sat there in all its 300-mile glory. So this is the damage I actually did when I went into it. But then, because he crashed into a tree afterwards, he did all of this shit. Well, got all my things. Goodbye, car. You will genuinely be missed. And fuck that car. I'm back in this, which I only have for a couple, like 5 more days pretty much. Trying to hit this Kia. Whee, I fit. So long car, may Copart treat you terribly like they always treat their cars. And after seeing my car for the last time, which was already depressing enough because it was in Luton, I then only had a week before I had to give back the rental. I had to put the seatbelt here on the passenger seat because it kept hitting here and it was very annoying. So that's probably stretched, but who cares? My air freshener, but we can leave that in here just to show that I cared. I do have some good news though. The Seat Leon is back on the road, not in my possession, but it does make me happy to see that it hasn't gone to scrap.